Welcome to episode 3 of UK Veterans React. Today we are doing a bit of a Money Heist special. Now, so we'll dish out straight off the bat then, spoiler warning for part 4, season 4 of Money Heist, which is out on Netflix now. We're going to be talking about a part of the Bank of Spain shootout. Now, Gary hasn't seen this before, he hasn't watched any of the series, so I'm going to give him a little bit of context and then we're going to fire right into it. So we'll see what he thinks. If you haven't seen this before, just to give you a little bit of background on ourselves, obviously we both served 25 years in the British military, in the British Army, and we've been on countless operations from Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, and so on. So we're just going to give a little bit of our thoughts into what's going on here. We're starting with the elevator scene, so I'm just going to give Gary a bit of context so he can understand what's going on.
So this is a bit of reality versus what we see, kind of.
Yeah. So you've got, they don't use their own names, they use city names. So you've got Rio and Denver, they're in an elevator. What they're doing is they're searching for someone. One of the governor of the Bank of Spain's personal guard, who's a former Green Beret, hard as nails bloke, has escaped in the bank.
Right.
He's got himself to a weapons cache, and they're trying to find him before he causes too much havoc. So yeah, so they're searching for this guy, and this is the elevator scene that leads on to the shootout scene next. So they've had a bit of a squabble.
Claro que sí, tu amigo. Todo parece río. ¡La puta! ¡El casco! ¡El chaleco! ¡Hay casco fuerte sobre la granada!
They're dead. That either blew a hole in the bottom of the lift and they dropped out the bottom, or it. Yeah, would you survive that?
I don't think so.
I can't see, even to be honest, and you know what happened here, but I can't see someone walking away from that. Even if they did live, they would not walk away from that.
Now, I know it isn't unheard of. Obviously, we've all seen Steve Rogers jump on the grenade.
Well, I think if anything, the second guy, who was the last guy to go on top, might get away with it. But I think the first guy would sustain some serious chest injuries.
No. Now, I know that you're meant to believe now that 2 Kevlar helmets went on top of them, and then obviously 2 sets of body armour. Now, I know this isn't completely unheard of. There was a Royal Marine in Afghanistan that did dive on a grenade. Actually, I think if I recall from the story, he fell backwards on the grenade and he had a Bergen on.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it was a full detonation, if it only partially detonated or not. I can't remember. So, but he landed on it. He got a medal for it.
What injuries did he sustain though?
I can't remember. I'd have to look that up.
But what I'm saying is even if that did, that would have not only probably blown a hole in the floor, because you've seen the whole place shake. So that was a hefty explosion.
You've seen the damage that happened to the lights and everything on the outside of the elevator. So you can expect to walk in there and it be a proper mess. And even if that did contain it enough, that they would still be an absolute mess. Do you know what I mean? They'd be.
Do you see the scene of this?
You will do that.
So I would expect them not to walk out that lift, and it depends what floor they're on. It would have also blown a hole in the floor, and they would have dropped out through. If it's a shaft, they would have dropped down into the shaft and end up at them. Yeah.
It's in a contained space, so already you're going to have a huge pressure. Remember that classic scene from Armageddon?
Imagine a firecracker in the palm of your hand. You set it off, what happens? Burn your hand, right? You close your fist around the same firecracker and set it off. Your wife's going to be opening your ketchup bottles the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So you've now got a grenade in a contained space going off. The pressure of that is going to be immense. Do you know what I mean? I suppose it blow the doors open, blow the lids
Even
off,
if it doesn't blow their arms off and whatever else, internal injuries would be horrific, surely.
Yeah, definitely. So just one last quick one on the grenades is to do with the timer. People seem to think there's a magic, every grenade is set, they've got like a timer as long as your arm. When if you actually look it up, it averages anywhere between 4 and 6 seconds. Have you ever actually thrown a grenade in real life?
I haven't thrown a grenade.
I have a long time ago in America. I was on a grenade range there, and not that I was there learning to do grenades, but there was some leftover from some exercises that were on, and they said, look, there's an opportunity to throw one there if you've never thrown one before. So I was like, cool, let's do that. One thing they don't tell you to do is they don't tell you to pull the pin and let when the lever goes, count. count to 3 seconds, so it gives them less chance. So the minute that goes, you don't let the lever go. You pull the pin. You throw the whole thing as it goes. So the lever goes as you throw, and you get out of the way because the blast radius obviously is quite vast for shrapnel and everything. So the minute that pin's pulled, you throw it at the hot. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. So, but let's see how long the grenade lasts, or the grenade timer, fuse, whatever you want to call it, lasts.
So let's bring the timer up.
Yeah.
Start the timer.
Boom.
So they got the body armor off quick.
Anyone who's ever worn body armor knows that you can't get body armor off that quick. It will get catched on everything.
So as you can see from the time, it took a long time for that grenade to go off. But
Yeah.
as Russ just said as well, that body armor, it took me ages to get my body armor off every time I came in from a job. So
You don't get it off that quick.
I'm really keen to see what happens.
Okay,
I don't know what happens, by the way, so now I'm really keen to see what happens next.
So this is literally leads direct on from it. It's gone up. It's
Okay,
gone
so
off.
I
So you
can't
got
see
more.
the lift then. You're not going
I
to
know
show me
you
the
can.
lift.
Yeah,
But I need to know.
You will see the lift. You will see the lift.
I have to wait.
I know, but it got to put you into the suspense of what happened to
Right,
them.
okay, right.
Right. So there's 2 guys heading towards the elevator. 1 guy here. Doors look pretty tidy, don't they?
No. So there's no hole in the elevator, strong elevator.
Little bit of fire. No blood coming out of their ears, out of their eyes, out of pretty much every orifice that would be just from the pressure. Do you know what I mean?
And they're standing up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No broken bones.
No internal injuries. I bet they get up and start the fight.
Here comes the ninja.
Okay. How many rounds he fired so far?
He's got the never-ending magazine because you know what I mean. That's rattling off in like automatic. It's not like it's going duff duff duff.
It's like Hot Shots Part 2 where he stood on the boat and it just keeps firing. Firing. My God! There'd be any guy in the British military who'd want a weapon like that continually fires.
Let's it.
Okay.
Still going. How many times did he get hit then? But that bulletproof vest he's got on is.
Can we just pause this for a minute? Can we just pause? So, hang on, let's get my head around this a little bit. So not only does he have a never-ending magazine, in other words, he hasn't at least changed the magazine yet to keep firing, and he's on automatic, so he would have finished ages ago. On top of that, everyone is firing at him. In other words, he is invincible. Everyone's missing him, which is ridiculous.
Oh, no. Look, watch again. So they do probably got a little bit of time to get out of the way before he starts firing, but they've only got that little gap. All those rounds winging into there, ricocheting round all over the place. Fire, bang, hit him. Palermo fires. Oh, hit him again. So he's been hit twice in the same shoulder. You're telling me that shoulder ain't going to be broken now? No. He's just had 2 high velocity rounds hit his shoulder.
And that's if it didn't go straight through and it bounced around inside his body.
Remember there was a para lad in Afghanistan who had a full set of body armour on, got hit in the shoulder. That para lad in Afghanistan had full body armour on, got hit in the shoulder, went through, hit the back plate, ricocheted through, hit the front plate, ricocheted through, hit the back plate, come out the side. Luckily, it did miss all his spine and organs and everything, and he survived. But do you know what I mean? He weren't going to be carrying on the fight.
No, exactly. Exactly.
But the other misillusion of that as well is that entire body armour suit that you got on is completely bulletproof from top to bottom, where actually they're in plate carriers. So you're going to have a plate this size in the front of there that's going to be bulletproof. So the 2 shots that would have hit in the shoulder there isn't going to be stopping a great deal.
No.
I'll drop a link in the description to Demolition Ranch, and you can see the countless times where he gets body armor suits and puts them to the test, where some of them won't even stop 2-2 rounds, let alone high velocity rounds fired by these assault rifles.
So you count how many times you've been shot?
So he's had at least 2, and they're both in the same shoulder. And bam, so now straight in the back. Now, the plate would have possibly stopped that. It did knock him off his feet, so... But
Can we at this point start the clock on his firing and see how long he's going on for?
Start it back at the beginning, should we? Alright.
So at this point, what we're going to do is we'll show you the video, we'll show how many times he gets shot, and we'll put the timer up for how long he is firing without changing his magazine.
Let's see if we can roughly figure out how many rounds he rattles off. Right. 8, 9, 20, 22, 24, 25,
You're not going to be able to count
28,
that,
29, 30. So we're at least 30 now, which is probably the average of what most assault rifles carry, and he hasn't changed a mag. He's still going. So
he's hit twice.
He's been hit twice, and he's now got to be at least at magazine number 2. In reality. Still going. Full automatic. Bang, hit a 3rd time. Still going.
Still going. So now...
So he gets hit how many times then? He rolled out of the way of automatic fire on the floor there.
No one hit his head at all.
Don't get me wrong, it's obviously it's very dramatic and visually appealing to see. But and now at this point now you've got everyone's letting loose all at the same time with automatic fire, and he seems to be magically in a little box of rounds just hitting round him, not getting hit at all.
Yeah, and he can still fire 2 pistols
from 4 weapons. So his never-ending mag is finally emptied after 300 rounds, and now he runs across the corridor, and all those rounds are hitting the floor. Yeah.
I cannot believe that guy had 3 automatic weapons on him. He was stood in 4 automatic weapons, sat in a groove of a door, and can still just lean out of the doorways and fire 2 pistols at the same time. Please message me if you've ever done this and you've got away with it and lived. Yeah. Oh my God.
If you watch the floor now, there's rounds all hitting on the floor. So everyone stood at head height, firing at head height.
Yeah.
But the rounds were rattling off the floor.
Wow.
So they
I
actually
think
stood there like
we
that.
should put this to the test.
Can you dodge a bullet? If you can dodge a ball, you can dodge a bullet. No? Dodge ball? No? Okay.
Yeah, dodgeball.
Okay. So let's see what you can dodge.
So after watching that, let's see if Russ can really dodge bullets.
Ready. Ooh, this is the way.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the series. It's so clever. But I think when they moved from series 1 to series 2, to parts 3 and 4, parts 1 and 2 got picked up by Netflix. So it had a relatively small budget when it did its first sort of run, and then Netflix picked it up and it became really, really popular. And then Netflix was like that, here's a ton of money, make us another season. And so obviously with that money, they can make everything gets bigger and better. So there's some huge, great shootouts throughout seasons sort of 3 and 4, or part 3 and 4, what you want to call it. But
the epic scenes.
They are really
scenes.
epic scenes, and they must have taken ages to do. But you do have to suspend reality for that a little bit.
I think for the kind of, sometimes, you know, little Joe who's watching it and doesn't know much different, but I think from your perspective you can go, I think anyone would know, God, that's there. But then again, we're going back to the days of Rambo, so remember, you know, Rambo, he did it, let's fire away. Hot Shots took the mick out of that, you know. He constantly was living in the realms of he never got shot, or if he did, he could survive anything. So it's what the viewers want to see, but obviously if you want to have a bit of reality in it as well, if this is based around reality, then that's not giving a true account of someone that is pretty much invincible, and he should be a superhero. That guy should be a superhero.
Well, the reality actually should be mush. He'd be a bleeding mush on the floor full of bullet holes.
Well, that was epic.
Now, don't get me wrong, absolutely love Money Heist, and I can't wait for the last bit to come out at the end of the year. But just some of that, it's just the suspension of disbelief is just a little bit too much for me. But that's just me. So
is there a message you want to tell the person that's advising that series?
Yeah, your man, the personal guard would be probably mush in the middle of the floor somewhere, along with Denver and Rio both being mush. Do you know what I mean? The amount of rounds that are winging around in that corridor, I think everyone would have been cut to pieces. Do you know what I mean? There's just the ricochet alone, and the splinters and everything that's going off all over the place. It would be.
But tell us what
carnage.
you think.
But we'd love to know what you think. We'd love to know if you love the series. I do. Gary's got to sit and now watch it at some point. But yeah, we'd love to know your thoughts on it. They're great shootouts and everything. But yeah. If you did like this video, please drop us a comment. We do answer all comments. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe wherever it may be on the screen. And we will see you in our next video.
Thank you very much.